In today's era of modern science, many strange superstitions still exist in various countries around the world. These superstitions have long occupied the human imagination, weaving threads of fear and fascination into the fabric of human history. Many ancient superstitions have become so ingrained in the human psyche that, even though people no longer believe in them, they still follow them unconsciously. While the origins of these superstitions are fascinating, often based on supernatural folklore, people even seek convincing practical reasons to justify their beliefs. Let's take a look at some of the most chilling ancient superstitions in history and explore where they originated. One of the most widespread ancient superstitions in the world is likely that of the evil eye. Rooted deep in human history, with origins spanning more than 3,000 years, this is the belief that malevolent glances can bring harm and misfortune to unsuspecting victims. The superstition of the evil eye can be found in many cultures, but its earliest traces can be seen in ancient Mesopotamia. Clay tablets from the 7th century BC have been unearthed, not only as evidence of belief in the evil eye, but also showing the spells that the Mesopotamians used to ward off bad luck. During the Roman Empire, people even created an amulet in the shape of an eye in hopes of subduing the evil within. This belief quickly spread among Muslims, where the eye is called nazar, and in India as buri nazar. These eyes are often blue and white. To this day, the eye amulet remains popular in Greece and Egypt. People still use it to decorate their homes or wear it as jewelry in the hope of warding off the negative effects of the evil eye. Ancient Egyptians avoided walking under a ladder. They believed that when a ladder was leaned against a wall, it formed a triangle, which was one of the most sacred symbols to the Egyptians, similar to the pyramid. Walking under the ladder would break the symbol and offend the gods. This strange superstition has surprised many. It dates back a long time and is tied to various spiritual factors. The ancients believed that walking under a ladder would bring misfortune, even summon evil spirits and offend the gods. This belief later spread to ancient Rome, where ladders were associated with the divine. From there, it continued to spread throughout the rest of Europe. In medieval Europe, ladders were no longer associated with the divine. Not only were they used as construction tools, but they also resembled the shape of a gallows. Ladders were considered closely linked to death and misfortune. As a result, the fear of walking under a ladder became more pronounced, and people increasingly avoided walking through triangular objects. Walking under a ladder isn't necessarily something terrible, but this superstition seems to have deeply embedded itself in people's subconscious. Avoiding walking under ladders seems like fairly sound advice for health and safety. Friday the 13th brings together two superstitions. Friday is considered an unlucky day, rooted in Christian tradition. It is believed that Jesus was crucified on a Friday, making that day of the week unlucky. There are many reasons people fear Friday the 13th, though no one can fully explain where the fear of the number 13 comes from. According to some historians, this fear dates back to ancient times, when the number 12 was considered perfect and often used for measurements or calendars. This made its neighbor, the number 13, seen as imperfect or unlucky. Others suggest that the fear of the number 13 originates from Norse mythology, where Loki arrived as the 13th guest at a sacred dinner, upsetting the other gods and spreading evil and suffering into the world. Friday the 13th is also linked to several terrifying events that instill fear in people. On Friday, October 13th, King Philip IV of France ordered the arrest of the infamous Knights Templar. Many of them were later tortured and executed, with some burned at the stake. This was seen as quite unlucky. Whatever its origins, over the years, Friday the 13th has gained notoriety, reinforced by unfortunate events such as the crash of Uruguayan Air Force Flight 5571 on Friday, October 13, 1972. Popular culture has also helped solidify this superstition with the movie Friday the 13th. Black cats, or lynxes, once caused many people to fear the bad luck they supposedly brought. In fact, black cats are harder to adopt than cats of other colors. Superstition surrounding black cats has been around for a very long time. In ancient Egypt, cats, including their black cat brethren, were revered and associated with deities, especially the goddess Bastet. Killing a cat, even by accident, was considered a serious crime. However, a few centuries ago, particularly in medieval Europe, cats became infamous for their association with witches, witchcraft, and even Satan. It was believed that cats served as the familiars of witches, allowing them to communicate with demons, and that witches could transform into black cats to carry out their sinister deeds. As a result, during the 16th and 17th centuries, there were numerous witch hunts. Countless black cats were killed alongside those believed to be witches. However, not everyone despised black cats. In some regions of Europe, particularly in Scotland and Ireland, black cats were considered to be lucky. This stands in stark contrast to the popular superstitions in other areas. Today, black cats continue to symbolize different things in various cultures. Some see them as omens of bad luck, while others view them as symbols of good fortune. The belief that breaking a mirror brings 7 years of bad luck dates back to ancient Greece and Rome, when people believed that mirrors contained a part of a person's soul. Breaking a mirror not only damaged the physical reflection, but also harmed the spiritual essence of the individual, resulting in bad luck. Like many ancient superstitions, this concept persisted into the Middle Ages, when mirrors were rare and expensive, further reinforcing beliefs in their mystical properties. Asia also shares a similar superstition. In ancient China, mirrors played a role in predicting the future through divination. Instead of harming the soul, breaking a mirror was seen as disrupting the connection with the spirit world, bringing misfortune. In most parts of the world, opening an umbrella indoors is considered either extremely rude, unlucky, or both. In Europe, this superstition is believed to be linked to Victorian England. The reasoning behind it is quite practical. During this time, umbrellas were a relatively new invention, and their spring mechanism made them cumbersome indoors. Opening an umbrella in confined spaces could lead to accidents, property damage, or even injury to oneself or others. In Asia, the superstition has a more frightening origin. Opening an umbrella indoors is considered taboo because it resembles actions performed during funerals, such as opening a canopy for the deceased. It is believed that opening an umbrella indoors, especially at night, could trap or anger the spirits of the dead, leading to bad luck. In Japanese folklore, there is even a type of demon called kasa obake, which takes the form of an umbrella and enjoys causing mischief. Some civilizations, like the Greeks, considered horseshoes to be lucky charms that ward off evil spirits. As a result, people often hung horseshoes above their doors to protect their homes from demons. The superstition surrounding horseshoes and their supposed power to bring good luck has spread throughout history, rooted in European beliefs and folklore. There are two distinct aspects to the horseshoe superstition. First, in ancient Europe, iron was believed to have protective properties. Iron was considered pure and, therefore, could be used to fend off evil forces such as demons, spirits, and even witches. Second, the horseshoe, like the moon, was associated with ancient pagan moon gods. Over time, the horseshoe came to be seen as a bringer of good luck. In medieval Europe, people began hanging horseshoes over doorways, with the ends pointing upward. It was believed that this created a protective barrier, warding off supernatural evils and bringing prosperity to the household. Today, the direction in which the horseshoe is hung holds significance. Hanging it with the ends pointing upward is believed to catch and hold luck, while hanging it downward is thought to let the luck spill out. Horseshoes remain a symbol of good luck in various cultures. For the Romans, salt was a symbol of purity and was used in various religious activities, particularly in purification rituals. Spilling salt was considered an offense to this sacred rite and was believed to anger the gods. Angering the gods would clearly lead to bad luck. In medieval Europe, salt was an expensive commodity, and the act of spilling salt was thought to attract the attention of mischievous spirits or witches, bringing misfortune. To counter this bad luck, a common custom emerged, throwing a pinch of spilled salt over one's left shoulder, where it was believed that demons lurked. This gesture was thought to ward off evil spirits and avoid subsequent misfortune. Salt has also continued to be associated with purification. It was believed that demons and spirits could not cross a line of salt, meaning that sprinkling salt along windowsills and doorways could help repel evil spirits. Darkness is a fear that has deeply rooted itself in the psychology of many people for centuries. For this reason, in various cultures, night has always been associated with mystery, concealing the inexplicable and unseen forces. Many cultures believe that whistling at night brings bad luck. It is seen as an invitation, a way to summon spirits or supernatural beings into a person's presence. This belief was particularly pronounced in superstitious medieval Europe, which was obsessed with demons. The night was considered a dwelling place for witches, devils, and other bothersome creatures, and whistling was thought to attract these entities, potentially leading to misfortune, illness, or even possession. Whistling at night on land was bad enough, but doing so at sea was even worse. Sailors are inherently a superstitious group, and historically, they regarded whistling at night as a bad omen on the open seas. The strange sound of the wind whistling in the darkness was seen as a forewarning of impending storms or other maritime disasters. Not only do black cats have a complex relationship with ancient superstitions, but crows also serve as both omens of death and symbols of wisdom throughout human history. In Norse mythology, the lord of the gods, Odin, is always accompanied by two crows named Hugin and Munin. By his command, they fly across the world to bring information back to their master. Meanwhile, another pagan deity, Morrigan, is also often depicted with a crow. However, this goddess has a more negative reputation, as she is closely associated with death. Additionally, the black plumage and scavenging behavior of crows, along with their haunting calls, lead people to regard them as omens of death and doom. In some beliefs, seeing a crow or ravens near one's home is considered a bad sign. Like black cats during the witch hunts of the Middle Ages, these birds were sometimes thought to be associated with witches. They were also believed to be spies for dark forces. Human history is filled with superstitions, especially those that send shivers down our spines, which seem to have an irresistible allure. The world of superstition is a labyrinth of beliefs and cultural perceptions that have influenced human behavior for millennia. From the unsettling gaze of the evil eye to the chilling fear of Friday the 13th, these superstitions have cast a shadow over history, reflecting our innate desire to explore the unknown.